Hello and welcome. I wanted to try something different today. If you know me already, you know that I love writing and I write a lot. It's always been kind of my primary language. It's where I organize thought, where I slow things down, where I can sit with complexity without needing it to fix it right away or resolve it too quickly. But there's parts of this work, especially when it comes to desire, power, shadow work, that don't fully just live on the page. They live in tone, in pacing, in breath. And I realized that I wanted to speak some of this instead of only writing it, even though it's a little bit nerve-wracking. But when we write, we get to edit, right? We get to polish, we get to structure, we get to choose our words carefully. And that truly is a gift, right? That's what I love about writing. But voice is different, right? Voice carries hesitation, uncertainty. There's all kinds of pauses when something raw and real is happening before the mind even catches up to it. And when you're working with erotic psychology, shadow, power, those pauses really matter because this work isn't just intellectual, it's embodied. And I really want to talk a little bit about what this work is really about because a lot of people think that what I write is about indulgence or danger or pathology. It gets really misunderstood on the internet, but that's not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is how human beings actually function psychologically, emotionally, somatically, when we stop pretending that half of our inner life doesn't exist. Like, shadow work to me is not about glorifying darkness or anything. It's about stopping that, quiet self-betrayal that happens when we exile parts of ourselves in the name of being acceptable and good and safe and welcomed into a society or a culture or a religion. So, when I speak, I notice things that I don't notice when I write, right? I notice when my body tightens around a sentence, when I start speaking faster because I get really passionate about something, when heat rises up to my skin. I notice when things feel uncomfortable when they're said out loud. I notice when I want to soften or when I want to just rush through a point. And that information really does matter to me because the body doesn't lie in the same way that intellect can, right? A lot of what passes for healing these days or self-improvement or self-development work, it's actually just sophisticated avoidance. So with that, I just want to say that this isn't going to be a high energy show. It's not going to be motivational. It's not going to offer these neat, easy answers. What I want this space to be is somewhere that I can think out loud and slow myself down and be really honest with myself and with you guys about desire, intimacy, power, fear, rejection, integration, shame. And sometimes that's going to mean that I'm going to be unpacking psychological mechanisms. Other times it's going to be me reflecting on my own processes. Sometimes it's going to mean that I talk about fiction because I write fiction and I know that story can carry things that theory can't. And then other times I'm hopefully going to bring on some really cool guests so that we can dive deeper into this topic from others' perspectives. So if you're here looking for, quick fixes or certainty, then this probably won't be satisfying. But if you're interested in increasing your capacity to feel, to relate, to be honest with yourself, then this space might be very useful to you. So I'm going to leave you with the fact that I want to be clear about something here. Okay, I'm not speaking from a place of having it all figured out. I just want you guys to know that. I'm speaking from inside the work because I am very aware that I will never have it figured out. I will be on this constant journey of figuring it out for the rest of my life. And there's always space to grow and expand. So this is not performance, it's not instruction. It is purely exploration, shared in real time. So I'll leave it there for today, but if you do want to read more of my work, then you can find me on Substack. I write essays and fiction that explore these same things that I just talked about in a different form. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.